Back in the 1950s, when the world was black and white, like many spotty adolescents, I was obsessed with American rock and roll artists, and in particular the exotic space-age guitars that they all seemed to play. Now, nothing like these were available in Britain at the time, and would have been beyond a schoolboy's pocket money anyway, so if I wanted one, I had to make my own. First efforts using plywood and timber offcuts were a little crude, but I made several guitars over the next couple of years, improving all the time and learning a lot about construction and how to get the best out of them. Eventually they were good enough for me to join a group and play in youth clubs, at local dances and in coffee bars. Fast forward 60 years and I have a granddaughter who is an excellent singer but needs a guitar to help her with the songwriting. Now, fancy guitars are readily available in this day and age, but I thought it might be fun to use all that knowledge I accumulated as a schoolboy, take a basic instrument, upgrade it with better quality components, improve the playability and personalise it for her. So here we are with our generic Stratocaster guitar. This is the typical shape that this guitar always has, the two horns slightly offset, one from the other, based of course on the design of the tail fins on American cars in the 50s. The fretboard is sometimes the problem with these budget guitars, in that the action or the distance between the strings and the frets can often be too high, which makes them difficult to play, but this is surprisingly low for this sort of guitar. It does mean it'll play, I think, reasonably well. A guitar basically is just two bits of wood. You've got the body, you've got the neck, and they sort of screw together, and the rest is metalwork. The wood does have an effect on the way the guitar will sound eventually, although not quite so much as you might imagine. Most of the sound is generated through all the sound really is generated through the pickups here, which are basically magnets surrounded by a coil of wire, and the string, as it vibrates, moves in the magnetic field. This causes a voltage which runs through the electronics and is then amplified externally. What we're going to do as part of the customization is to take away the electronics and replace them with better quality potentiometers, volume controls, tone controls, and replace this bridge entirely. And that's about it, so let's get back to work. These are the various parts I'm going to put onto the guitar. The springs for the tremolo unit. These are the potentiometers for the volume and tone controls, which we're going to replace. The bridge unit, tremolo arm, and of course a new set of strings. I'm going to take this apart now. The arm should come away. There we are. Anybody want to spare one of those? The bridge will be removed and discarded, but I have to take the strings off first. Easiest way is just to loosen them and snip them off. On this type of guitar, the strings go through the back. What we do is to push the strings through from the front to back to get rid of them. We'll install new strings later, of course. The next thing I'll do is to take off the old bridge and get rid of it. There we are. We'll need that for later. This exposes the tension spring mechanism of the tremolo unit.
Manipulating the lever on the front of the guitar produces a pronounced vibrato effect by stretching or loosening the strings as the guitar is played. It's a clever piece of engineering because no matter how extreme the movement, the unit always returns the strings to the correct pitch. Now I'll remove the mounting screws from the front of the bridge, 6 altogether. There, that's the bridge freed up. I just need to take the mechanism apart at the back now. There are 2 securing screws here that are quite significant. There we are. That's known as the claw. And here are the tension springs. And now for the main bridge, which should just slide out. In order to replace the electronics, I have to take the entire scratch plate off. So again, we'll skip the boring bits via time-lapse. Right, so that's the last screw out, so hopefully we'll be able to lift the assembly away to reveal the wiring. Just turning it over. You can probably see how the tone control we're looking at here is tiny compared to the new one I'm going to replace it with, which is bigger and more precise and doesn't produce electrical noise. So here we are a little later on. I've redone the wiring and replaced the volume and tone controls. In the interim I took off the neck, which normally fits here, because I wanted to check the alignment of the neck and then customise the headstock. This meant taking off the machine heads while I applied the name decal, and then I gave the headstock several coats of clear varnish. Well, we're just about ready for the final assembly now, so let's get on with that. I think we'll do the headstock first. Get these machine heads back on, one at a time. And that's now complete. All the machine heads in place, string trees on, and the all-important customised name decal fixed in position. As I said earlier, a guitar is just 2 pieces of wood screwed together. That's one bit, and there's the other. It just slides into the socket here, and then secured from the back. Now to replace the scratch plate.
I don't know whether any of you have spotted the slight disadvantage of this particular type of construction. All the electronics are on one board, which is great, looks really neat. The problem is you can't really test whether it all works until it's on the guitar, and if it's wrong, you've got to take the guitar apart to fix it. So, pray for me.
Okay, last connection. And to put it all together again. Turn it over. Last screw in place. Just need to put the control knobs back on later. Next step is to get the new bridge fitted. It fits. So far, so good. The tremolo unit is back in place. It will need adjusting, but first we need to fit the new strings. Looks untidy, I know, but we'll cut the ends to length in a minute. Now, finishing touches, volume and tone controls, and the tremolo arm. And here we are. New parts fitted, final adjustments made to the playing action, the tremolo unit adjusted to optimal performance, and the instrument tuned up, ready to go. Maybe the best way to test it is to, well, play something.
Beethoven, roll over Beethoven, roll over Beethoven, roll over Beethoven.